And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the early Eclectic Alien stream. And I appreciate all of you. You could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world. And it's an honor. And you could be watching anywhere, even in the far regions of the cosmos and the galaxies. And now we are beginning our show. So, what I'll be doing now is we'll be switching over. We'll talk about the planet Serpo. We'll be talking about the protests and different things with the planets and stuff like that, and maybe some things about a certain cool movie. All right. So now we'll be switching over. Hello, it's me, Alien Spaceship, and everything looks fine. So basically, I hope that all of you have been having a great day, and some of you may be seeing this live or seeing it as a rerun. And what I'll be doing in the beginning right now, as time persists, we will play the game, and we do this. It's part of the stream, and it's other people come through. We play a game first, as we have the others come through, and then after the game for a time period, I will then get into the topics regardless of who is here, who isn't. Remy. Hello, my friend Remy. Good to see you. Shout out to you, Remy. It was very nice today seeing you in chat, and also I talk about trials as well, and we had some pretty crazy trials we're watching, and today the Law and Crime went out, and everybody's trying to keep each other entertained. So yeah, that was really crazy today. I haven't seen anything like that since the Johnny Depp trial. And also now I'll be putting the game up. And thank you, Remy, for telling us hello. I really appreciate you. Alright, so now what the game is doing, the game is launching. It's going. Alright. Alright, so game is taking its time. Yeah, so I think that, basically there's the planet Sepro conspiracy theory. It's quite crazy. It's about these astronauts that were going over to this other planet for certain missions, and I'll be talking about this stuff while I do the game. Stranded, the co-pilot. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. Yes, Remy, I'll be there tomorrow with y'all. See you tomorrow. Shelly, good to see you. Good to see you. All right. So now I'll be talking about the topics, basically very similar topics, nearly the same thing as I was talking about yesterday to those that were there, but we do an early stream for people that aren't able to see it. Good night, Remy. All right, so we got our pirate here, and we'll play this briefly, and we will be talking about these things. All right. So here we go. All right, the game is here. Yay! Scared. All right, so basically, I hope everybody's been having a great day. And I hope that everybody, has been doing well. And if anybody has some interesting plans or stuff that they were talking about, I will be interested to hear about it. And also, I want to say that I'm going to, I don't know, I had this a certain way, but now I have to move it again. All right, so we'll put that up there. Yeah, I'll just put this like this. I'll put this way up here. Put that somewhere over here. Well, I'll get it right. Yeah, so I hope everybody's been having a good day with everything. If anybody has some cool weekend plans, feel free to talk about it. There's going to be there's a couple of trials I've been keeping up with. There's unfortunately, a mother allegedly unalived, deleted her child and threw the kid in the dumpster. And tomorrow I'll be at the trial chat to see what's going on with that. And today there is a historic outage at Law and Crime. And I have not seen anything like that since Johnny Depp. That's how I found Law and Crime, because they're the only one that was on. And Zero is with me in the game right now. He is with me in the game. He may not be in chat, but he's with me in the game, and I appreciate him. Yeah, so basically, there was Monica, and she deleted her husband. And she was with another lover and cheating on him. And he was like a hairstylist. It's pretty, very sick what people do. And also the Rocky trial. It's a rapper. He pulled out a pew pew, which is a firearm, on the other people. And that trial's going on as well. Moki. I'm glad that you're here, Mookie. And Mookie is the one that told me about Planet Serpo. And that is great that she is here with us, and conveniently the stream does something interesting right when I say that. All right. So, and then we're back. We're back. So, hello, Zero. Yeah, who said what? Scared. All right. So, Mookie, in the beginning, I play a game briefly while people come through. And I talk about the topics at the same time while doing the game. Then after, I may, and be patient with me. Moe key. Okay. And if I'm still pronouncing it wrong, be patient with me. I'll eventually get it. And so basically what happened was after the game, I'll get into different articles and pictures and stuff. So let us begin. He needs to get a drink. Oh, I understand. You need the fuel. It's all good. I understand, Zero. All right, so I was talking to Moiki in the chat the other day, a law and crime friend from the trial chat, and also enthused with the aliens. She was telling me about the Moiki. Okay. Moki. Okay. Okay. So Moki was telling me about the planet Serpo. And so what is that exactly? So basically there is this conspiracy theory that something crazy that I've not heard of, and I'm glad that I know about it because I've always wondered about this planet. So there is planet Serpo. So these aliens, similar to the Roswell crash, were coming into our atmosphere, and because of the radar, they crashed into our planet, and there was some bodies retrieved, and then the aliens, the ETs, they wanted one of their people back. There was a survivor, and they wanted to recover the bodies, and the United States government wanted in exchange for their technology. And this is a conspiracy theory. This may be all fiction. So they come from Zeta Reticuli, and that is where the Greys come from. And so basically, we have different theories of what the aliens are exactly. They could be the Watchers, the fallen angels, according to a Abrahamic interpretation, or at least maybe could be universally agreed on that they could be gods of old religions. So this is interesting to see an encounter that they're from some other planet somewhere in the cosmos and some other galaxy that came here, similar to what Stranded was talking about before. So these were the Ebians. It's a similar type of alien to the Greys. But the thing is, though, that they were, from my research, at war with the Greys, and from research I did from my youth, and if anybody can refute me, if they would like or disagree with this, the Greys like very cold weather, cold climates. So the Ebians, they're in their planet Serpo, and there's different pronunciations of the planet that could have been misinterpreted. There were a group of astronauts in this secret mission were selected to go to planet Serpo and be there for a period of 10 years. So their social security number Everything about them, their name would all have to be erased and be given a number, similar to like they do in prison. Not comparing the both, but in a way it's kind of similar to some extent. Although I'd rather be in space with some aliens than be in prison, but with Earthlings. But I'm an alien, and many of you are aliens as well, so we would agree that we don't want to be around a bunch of Earthlings that are bad. But so they're going to, and there's allegedly a video of the alien craft landing, and it looks like a orb type thing landing, and so it's very interesting. And also they took them out, and they were agreed on absolute secrecy, and they were brought through a UFO, so a flying saucer. And the flying saucer went to a much larger mothership. And they went, it would take them 8 months to go to the planet. And this planet Serpo, is very, according to this theory, this story, very, very hot. And the planet would, they had life there. It's where the Ebians were. So, and they lived in these Pueblo type huts. And they ate chalk type stuff. Like that was their food. And they had some herb to help with eating it, because their food was very bland for the Earthlings to eat after their food supply ran out. Hello, Linda. Good to see you. She's from the Law and Crime chat also. And so, basically, they were there and, getting their technology and learning the different information. And allegedly, this planet has 2 suns. And, yes, correct. And Mookie is here, and if I slip or forget anything, Mookie, you could always add to this what I'm saying. It's what you're here for. Hello, Kathy. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here with us. So good to see you. And so great to see you as well. Both. All right. So basically what happened was they're vegetarian and they ate this chalk type stuff. And the Earthlings needed to eat meat for protein. And they didn't have any type of protein supplement, because now you could take vitamin. So if someone wants to be vegetarian or vegan, they could take vitamin B12, because there'll be a deficiency in that. And there will be with vitamin B12. And also, they didn't have any substitute for protein, so they had to eat the animals there. So they hunted some of the animals there and for protein, and the aliens thought it was very strange that they were eating the meat, but they let them do it because they had to eat it. And they just thought they were very strange. And Earthlings can be very strange. So basically, that was their encounter, but there was something very nefarious about this that was not mentioned with one of the crew members. So while they were flashed back to when they're on the spaceship, it kind of reminds you of some aliens are cool people, of course, are cool beings. They're not like Earthlings, but it's kind of gives off North Korea vibes a little bit. Like when I was seeing now look, Earthlings are very good with, as I said, they're good with, Earthlings can be very violent, and it looks like aliens can get along pretty well. They're different than us. But let's just say with these, it seemed kind of like a North Korea vibes to it. So they were in the spaceship, and they were given some food, and some of them kind of got sick, and one of their crewmates went missing. And they were saying that for a second with the Earthlings that, the one of them was sick and they had to be quarantined. And they had weapons on the ship. So they're getting their weapons out to fight the aliens, and that takes a pair of, steel balls to do that. You're going to fight some alien with the superior technology, and that, do what you got to do. But that was, very brave of them to do that. And the aliens, like we were talking about last time with the gray aliens, although this one's a different type, the Ebians are a little bit different. They're very robotic, and they're like a computer, and they don't have emotions like we do. It's like an AI robot. So they were very calm and just said that they could not bring their friend to them for his own good, his own safety, and they kind of talked them out of it. So while they were on this planet, they're finding out more, and they figured out that their friend was deleted, passed away, and it's like they're very disturbed by this, and they go into this laboratory where you have these hybrids in these containers, in these giant, liquid containers, similar to like Star Wars. There's been new depictions of where Darth Vader is kept in, and Darth Vader, it's like this giant tank, and he's just kind of breathing there. His limbless body just kind of chills there, and he thinks about his regrets. And so these sort of similar tanks to something you'd see in Star Wars was being seen, and you had these human alien hybrids that were being seen in there. And the human alien hybrids were very, creepy looking. And there was also this other type of creature that looked like a refrigerator, looked like some sort of a mattress or something, and it had three eyes. So there's these things they just couldn't really explain. And that was happened to their friend. The friend was morphed with an alien DNA. It was used to create some sort of hybrid person. And that is very disturbing, but the aliens are like these scientists, and I look like I'm downplaying it. Hello, Danny, good to see you. And but the aliens are very, as I said, very disturbing that they're doing experiments on us, allegedly. And yeah, so that's what happened to their friend. And the aliens, their civilization was similar to communism or like a socialist utopia of some sort. And basically, and they seem like they got along and everything, and they're doing it pretty well. But I don't know the ins and outs of it. And inside the Pueblos, they had this sort of plasma light in there that was very different than our type of lighting. And they seemed like they were very primitive, but they actually were pretty cool with like the very advanced. So that's what happened with, that encounter. And also, Mookie says most of the Americans who went to Serpo made it back to Earth. Correct. So they had all these different wildlife and stuff there. And to conclude the little story, the conspiracy theory, which I'll go into an article and explain even more about it. Let's, more descriptive detail. Because that's what I do. I read over again. But, so what happened with this, the astronauts were stayed for about 13 years because there was a miscalculation. And they all came back home. And remember, there's two suns on that planet. There's two suns. And with the two suns on the planet, there's a lot of radiation. All right, Zero, I understand. Thank you for letting me know. So, basically, the astronauts eventually came back home. But when they all came back to Earth, there is a problem because of they all came back home, but there is a problem with the radiation. So with the radiation, all of them passed away, but they made it back to Earth. There is some conspiracy theories that this was created to disrupt and cause discord in the UFO community, but the people that brought the story up, the officials that brought it up to these UFO thinkers claim that it's real, that it's a true story. And there's been a lot of talk about UFOs, and there's something with aliens, I believe, that is true that's been going on. But the story may be fiction, it may be made up. And this is the Ebians. And the Ebians were at war with the Greys, and that is the story of planet Serpo. And Serpo was a very fascinating, planet, and it's in Zeta Reticuli. So this other thing that we were coming up with yesterday when Sarah was here, that the planet they're describing sounds very similar to planet Nibiru or planet 10 that's allegedly right outside our solar system, and it's a very hot planet like Serpo was described as, and it was 8 months it took them to get to the planet. But remember, with alien technology, you could go from, I could teleport to your house right now. Like in the future, like say we have live stream chats, they'll have some technology where you can teleport all together somewhere. Just like in the past, they didn't have live streaming back in the 50s and 40s, and the 80s and the 90s. They didn't have technology like we have right now. So the aliens have very advanced technology. So that is something interesting. So the theory that we have is that the planet could have been planet 10, but that is just something that we just came up with. The galaxy, where this comes from, with a part of the galaxy that this comes from. Right, time travel. That's another theory about them, that they have to do with time travel. But what happened with this is that they come from Zeta Reticuli, the same galaxy where the Greys come from. The same constellation where the Greys come from. And Stranded, I am glad to tell you about this story, because this is a story about aliens from another planet, from this, Earth. So that is something that I wanted to, bring up to you all about. Yeah, another theory about the aliens is about time travel. And there's this conspiracy that they're time travelers that are coming from the future to our time period. And also the aliens can do time travel. And that there's other theories that I've been sticking with more, is that they're from another dimension, and that they're coming into our dimension from somewhere else. That was some other theory. And so going through what I like to talk about through the Abrahamic way of viewing things, is that through like a religious perspective. All right, it's getting all mowed down. All right, so from a different perspective is that, so hello Joyce, good to see you. So basically, Joyce, to give you an overview about what we're talking about the planet Serpo, and these planets, there is a secret mission that happened where our government found a UFO crash site with a bunch of deleted aliens. Alright. Serpo is a different planet, out in Zeta Reticuli, and that is the area where the gray aliens are also from. So there is a UFO crash site over in the United States. And what they did was they crashed, and there was a bunch of aliens everywhere. And there were, an alien that was alive. DJ, good to see you, dude. So when these aliens came, they wanted what they wanted to do was they go and they want their people, the alien bodies and their alien back. And that they said because of the radar that we have, it caused them to have a problem with their spaceship crash because of our radar. And the aliens were trying to talk about this, and they wanted their people back, the bodies and the alien. So they said they want their technology. So a select few group of people in the Secret Service were brought to. We're going to be assigned to be astronauts to go to this other planet. That is true, Zero. That is true. So basically, there's a book about it. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Zero. Thank you. So what happened with these aliens is that there's a group of them that went on the spaceship. So they went onto a UFO, and then they were transported to a bigger spaceship, a mothership. So there's UFOs, and the UFOs are going to this mothership. And it took them 8 months to get to this planet called Serpo, which is in Zeta Reticuli. The same constellation. And it's a very hot planet, and it has 2 suns. It was 102 degrees. Stranded, I'm not too sure if it's the second Earth or not. I'm not entirely certain. But this is not the second Earth that you might be thinking of, but I could be corrected if I'm wrong. Alright, so basically with Serpo, it has the aliens there are very similar looking to the Greys, but they're called the Ebians. And they're at war with the Grey aliens. And on Serpo, they are vegetarian and they eat this chalk type stuff, and they have an herb as well. Alright, you got your bounty hunter now, Zero. We're gonna get him. So basically, on Serpo, there is this situation where the Earthlings that were there, they needed protein. The human astronauts that were their guests there, they needed the protein. So they got the animals. They ate the animals there. And when they got the animals there, what kind of verb? You know, we'll get to that in a little bit. I don't quite recall it on the top of my head, but you know, it was a it was not the herb that you're thinking of, but it was a space variation of the herb that you're thinking of. You know what I mean. So I know the herb you're talking about, but it's like the space version of it. But the name I just don't quite recall at the moment. But I know what you're talking about. So this herb, it looked like this giant thing, like this bushy cone thing. You know, I'm sure that we all would like to smoke the herb baby on their planet. The aliens are so chill. I mean, wouldn't that be something? Yeah, wink, wink. I know what y'all mean. I know what y'all mean. Scared. All right. So basically, with Serpo, you had this planet, on their planet. So they thought that these aliens, they thought the Earthlings were weird for eating meat, but they know they had to eat it because they needed the protein and vitamin B12. And in these Pueblos, they had these huts. And it had this plasma type light. Very different than our type of lighting. And also what happened was, with Serpo, the aliens, seemed like these hot climates, and there was something else that happened. Shout out to you, Joyce. There's another situation that I didn't mention to Joyce. There was this situation where one of the crew members of the Earth people went missing on the mothership. And they all kind of got sick when they were eating something on the mothership. And they wondered what happened to them, and they were getting their weapons out because they had weapons on board. And the aliens are very much like computers. They're very, they have no emotion to them, and they're very calm. And they told them that they talked them out of it, and they were telling them that they don't need to get angry about this. That for his own safety, he had to be taken care of in a sequestered place. It reminds you of North Korea, as I said, and then eventually they found out that their crewmate was unalive. He was not on Earth. He was not in this realm of Earth anymore, or this realm of the spaceship, or anywhere. He was passed away. And then it was very disturbing. So they went and eventually found this gigantic laboratory with these tanks similar to where Darth Vader's torso floats in. Because in the newer movies, they have him in in a floating tank. And they have these tanks of these alien human hybrids. They have this giant mattress, refrigerator looking thing with 3 eyes. With red eyes. These things they can't describe. And so basically what happened was these aliens went and they took their crewmate and made him into an alien human hybrid. So this thing, if the story is true, is still out there somewhere. And they were gone for 13 years instead of 10 years, and their identities of the people were completely erased because they had no families or anything. And Mookie has some great points. Mookie says they have some kind of grassy rooted thingy that tastes like melon and mainly eat. That they mainly eat. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right, we're going to get this bounty hunter. All right. So, also, she says some good points. They departed Serpo from Nevada test site in 1965, returned to Nevada test site in 1978. Thank you. And also, allegedly, all of the crew members died of radiation poisoning over time. And also, Joyce, this is a conspiracy theory. This is an alleged story, and I'll give you the origins. So there was this official that was giving this information to UFO enthusiasts and gave this information. And that allegedly it is... They say it's a true story, but it also is thought that they were doing it to sow discord in the community of UFO enthusiasts, but they say it's a true story, though. And so we do not know, Joyce. It's a conspiracy theory. It is not proven. It could have been made up, but it's so basically what that means is it's probably true, and they're not going to tell us what really happened because they want to hide everything for us because there's a concern of public panic. But to tell you in a normie terms that maybe it's true, maybe it isn't, it's not been really proven either way. And I have a name of the people who went. Thank you, Mookie. And thank you. 2 of the astronauts chose to stay on Serpo. All right. And also they live with these, and their planet's very hot planet. And as I said, the planet is similar to where the Greys are from. That is true. Everything is a conspiracy theory with Gooperment. You're welcome, Linda. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate it. Yes, Kathy, we're used to public panic at this point. Yes. Ah, we got them. I made it to Nority level 2. I came to level 2. I'm at Nority level 2. Today's conspiracy theories is tomorrow's truth. Also, Danny, if you're still here, if I didn't say this before, I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you're doing well. And I understand. It was funny jokes you said. Thank you. All right. So basically, and Joyce says my kiddo is watching you play that game. Yeah, you see, Joyce, and everybody else, the kids, people like the games. Some people may have had problems with the game, but you see, thank you. Exactly. I know what I'm doing with the games. Scared. And yeah, shout out to your kiddo. All right. Yeah, so basically, as I was saying, oh yeah, the Skinny Bob video. I'll certainly play that. And also in a little bit, I will get off the game and show you all some articles in more detail about the Serpo conspiracy. And also was talking about the Matrix movie last night, and that was very nice to see. I mean, to talk about it, and Sarah was learning a lot because it refreshed her memory because y'all saw it when it came out, but I was too young. All right, and how is it in the Wild Wild West? Well, Danny, it's been in my neck of the woods. The trial chat went out. All their streams went out for a little while today, and they eventually came back on. Also, I will say this. I'm going to say this. So, we're going to talk about a little controversial topic in everybody. There are different people with different political views, everybody. So, I'm not going to get too political here, but it's okay if we do. Just be civilized about it. But we don't want to get too off topic. But there is there's a protest going on from the Orange Man's policy with the migration, and people are blocking traffic, and they're protesting in the streets and stuff. And as I said before, that people have a right to protest. Now, I think that disturbing the traffic and stuff, and also somebody was stabbed today. I think that is not how you're supposed to do it. Like Martin Luther King did it very peacefully. He was a very good man. And I think that they could do it in a more peaceful way. They're blocking different intersections and different parts of the roads and stuff, and the highways and the freeways everywhere. So that is something else that is going on that, both sides, I think, can see that, blocking traffic now, and people in California is not really the biggest fan of the Orange Man anyway. And I think that there could be, the protesting. I'm giving you all the information, what's going on. I'm reporting the news and getting some of my opinion. So they're blocking traffic. They're walking into the traffic. They're going all over the freeways and stuff, and they're protesting in front of the courthouses and things like that. So that is what's going on. As I said, there's different opinions about this situation, but I'm just reporting the news, and I've been watching streamers. So, and Amanda, good to see you, Amanda. It's amazing to see you. And my love, Amanda, I think I said Sarah, but my love, Amanda, I am glad that you're here with me. I'm so delighted and overjoyed to see you. And also all of you as well. And we are going to get this ship. I'm just getting myself in the right position. All right. Was weird. That went out on different coasts. Yes, I agree with you, Kathy. There's something suspicious going on. And I bet he does. I've known Alien for a bit, and I like him. He's very positive and very positive. Thank you, Linda. Yeah, Linda, I've known you since I was there. I've known you like nearly 3 years ago. And yeah, thank you, Stranded, for the information. And Joy says, in my opinion, they should make it a felony. They did it, and it was a mass. It was a mess. Yeah. Okay. Understood. Understood. And sometimes in this game, surprisingly, I sink. And Gam, not Gam. Shout out to Gam. Catches up. That's a very good channel. I recommend subscribing to. He's a very very good man, and he makes all kinds of cool things. He makes all kinds of cool, 3D figures and stuff like that. The kids would like it. Gam catches up. Very good channel. All right. So not Gam, but Zero is playing the game with me. Awesome. We have a fleet that took it down. Well, thank God. And Kathy says sometimes people insert themselves into a peaceful protest just to cause trouble. Oh, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yeah, you're doing good, Linda. Thank you. Thank you. And Amanda says, amazing to see you too. I hope you are having a great day. Did all your snow melt? Amanda, I hope that you're having a great day too. And the trial chat went out for a little while. That's what happened with them. And we're going to hit this ship. It's going to hit us. I'm going to go out this way. You don't want to get too close to him because it's going to sink. So that is what I think about that. And I was going to say something. And basically, my snow did melt. It melted, like, I believe, that Sunday after it was officially gone. I took pictures as it was melting. But I saved a piece of the snowman in the refrigerator in a bottle. I put the snowman in there. And Moki says, I love Trump. He has done so much so fast. It's been awesome to watch. And that will end my political talk. And also, Mookie, I do not disagree with you, in my opinion. We're on the same page, all right? We're on the same page, all right? And also, I'm glad to understand. It's good to know. And is the Armada there? The Armada is floating or get close to them. Yeah, thank you for Gam's channel. And the kids would like it. The kids would like it. And, I recommend subscribing to him. Yeah, thank you. All right, we're going to go forward. We don't get rammed by this thing. Right, exactly. Yeah, I know, right, Linda. Right. And I'm challenging 3 of them right now, but we got some more of the Armada coming on our way. Kathy said, "True, Danny." Well, I'm glad to see Kathy agreeing with something with the group. And also, I'll be right back. Play Skinny Bob till I'm back. I want to see what everyone thinks. All right, I will do that in a moment. I'm in a bit of in warfare right now, but I will play it. I will play it in a little bit. And I always think so. Always just look access to Kathy. Now, as I said, I want to make some points here. So basically, there's been issues with the economy, in my opinion, and I think inflation has gone very high. And as I said, with the tariffs and all, I don't think it's going to get low anytime soon. But I think that it's good to show these countries that that they need to chill out, and that we cannot be taken advantage of. But there could be other economic problems that could ensue. Oh, they almost got us, Gam. They almost got us, Zero. I'm calling them Gam. Both are very cool people. I forgot the lighting. You got the snowman in a bottle. Forget the lightning. Hilarious. Whoa, oh my goodness, there's tons of them. Because we got a whole armada that became pirates. Oh, it is a war. Oh gosh. This is going to be intense. And sinkings can happen. Now, at some point, as I said, we could go and refuel now. We could go and get out of it. Because we had defeated enough ships. It's okay. Oh, this is going to be something. This is going to be interesting. Okay, we're going to go out now. We're going to go that way. Okay, this is going to be interesting, Zero. Oh no, they're not pirates. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I don't know what's going to happen here. Scared. So we have enough for where to go and dock. Okay. It's over there somewhere. I'm gonna look every. Yeah, it's over there somewhere. And look, this is a pirate ship. There's no fuel on it. You know what I mean? Look at the silly alien. Alien, can't you know the pirates just sit and talk it out together? Why all the blowing each other up? All right, so there's the East India Trading Company, and we're the pirates, and we are trying to. We're just plundering all their treasure because we're being thieves. Like, there's gonna be a trial, and y'all gonna watch me on pirate trials with my pirates. As I said, this is epic. This is something epic. Whoa, whoa, they're all coming. I'm scared. Offer them a drink, and you can all be friends again. Why can't we be friends? That song plays in the background. I need turbo, absolutely. Kathy, I have my snowman in the freezer. I have a piece of him in the freezer. All right, and Stranded said he dropped the tariffs on Canada and Mexico because they agreed to lighten their borders and crack down on the drug trafficking. China is still being hard headed. All right, thank you for that information. You see, you got it's good like business negotiations. Right. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. All right, I got ivory, medicine, wheat, cotton, copper, emeralds, iron, diamonds, and rubies. All right. All right. Thank you, Zero. I salute you. All right, and I got new shoes in the game. Like, look at this. I got like this medieval shoes. I got these. That's my character, and I got these medieval shoes on, and that is Zero's character right there. He's got medieval shoes too. I will give you the diamond gladly. And Amanda said, DJ, hey, how are you? Today has been nice. Did you catch Josh's win on VK? Yeah, shout out to Josh. He's cool people. And Amanda says, my grandpa would freeze snowballs in his deep freezer every winter for us kids in the summer to play with. Shout out to Bubbles, who's crying, and he might want me to go tell him hello. But basically, we will do that. But I got new people shoes also. He got new purple shoes also. Yeah, so we're balling. We got cooler shoes than Jordans. Oh, no Johnny Depp in the game. Oh, I got you covered. I got you covered. We're going to take a detour. Now, Bubbles is fine. He's, been well taken care of. But sometimes I go over and hang out with him, or I go and do something with him with the, food or something like that. But he still has food and all. Sometimes, someone sitting with him. But since we're kind of in a situation with the live, he might kind of sing to us, but he's taking care of everything's fine. So shout out to Bubbles. All right. And all right, so this is Tortuga. This is from the pirate movie. They had Tortuga. All right, here it is. And we're going to go to Captain Jack Sparrow himself. And look at that. That's the moon. We're going to go swim. I could swim. Watch this. And all right, I'll show the sound for a second. There might be some copyright, but whatever. All right, so we're going to show you all the sound for a second. Shout out the bubbles. Shout out the bubbles. All right, this is the music. It's kind of similar to the Pirates of the Caribbean music. All right. That's a sword. And also, this is the explosion. Shout the bubble. Shout to you, Bubbles. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. Also, this is the firearm. And also, this is the voodoo doll. And it's a voodoo doll of Jack Sparrow. All right. So I'm gonna go swim over for a second, and we're gonna show you all the moon and stuff. All right. That's the Big Dipper, Little Dipper. All right. That's where you can do fishing. And this is a kid-friendly game. If kids want to play this, I recommend it. All right. That's the moon right there. Very cool. That's the island. And the Queen Anne's Revenge has been seen in the Caribbean. The Queen Anne's Revenge is Blackbeard's ship. Stranded and I, we have done streams about Blackbeard. The sound is not coming through. Okay. I thought it would come through my headphones. All right. So we're going to have to do it this way. Because there's this software I have to fix. But, all right. So we're going to play it on the speaker for now. 49ers Mama, I am delighted to see you. All right, so here we go. This is the pirate. Danny says meow, Bubbles. And the chat loves you and says hello to you. All right. Oh, and also... All right, so that's the sound. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all Jack Sparrow. Right now. Captain Jack Sparrow, rather. There's these pirates in the game, and you could fight them because they're a higher level. You could fight them. Alright, let's go find him. He's on his island. All right, so this is the voodoo shop. So that's where you can go and get the different things in the game. You could get the... In this part of the game, you can get voodoo potions and voodoo dolls and stuff. Right, he's in the bar. Right. All right, let's go find him right here. Right, I'll never get away from y'all. That's true. That's true. All right, there he is right there. All right. There's and also that is true. That is true, Mookie. I have plenty everywhere. Hilarious. Yeah, so that's him right there. And you could do quests and stuff for him. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, so Captain that's Captain Jack right there. And you could do quests and stuff for him. You could even talk to him. Now, the game gives automated responses. Wrong chat window. So basically, when you're doing a quest, he will talk to you, and it'll zoom in on him and you can accept a quest from him and do a mission for him, and sink some ships, and find some ghosts and things like that, and you could talk to him. Yeah, shout out to 666. He's cool people. I'd like to see him in here if he ever wants to come through. And uh, basically, you have this right here, so you could do quests for him. Also, there's Will Turner, and there's also Elizabeth Swan. I'll show you all of them on the other island. The focus of evil at Raven's Cove may play a game of tug of war. Alright, so when you're not in a mission, he will give you these automated chat responses. The ship, right, needs your help, repairing the ship. So he told me that the ship needs my help, the people need my help repairing the ship. So there go these automated responses. So people do these quests and stuff for him. So shout out to Captain Jack Sparrow right there. Shout out to him. Yeah, right on. Shout out to Captain Jack Sparrow. Oh yeah, 666. He's always a cool character. I really enjoy him at Long Crime, and I love the jokes he does with us. And Amanda says, "Hi Kathy, I'm doing well, thank you. I hope that you're been having a great week." And shout out to all of you. I appreciate everybody here. Now I'm going to go to Port Royal and show you all the other characters. All right. Yes, they have the mission. They tell the mission, and you can press J, and the mission is in your journal. I will show them the Skinny Bob video. I'm going to get to it, Mookie. They want to see the game for a second, so I'll show them parts of the game. All right. I'm going to be very brief. I'm not going to be long. Not going to be much longer. All right. So I'm going to show you what Elizabeth... Okay, this is Will Turner. Right here. That's Will Turner. Let's talk to him. You see, you could do a quest for Will Turner. I'll demonstrate this real quick. You do a quest. Pirate Blade upgrade. With the Spanish smithing. All right, Avast the quest, and as I said, and I'm going to show you what Elizabeth Swan, and then we'll get to the Skinny Bob video, which you all could see. Avast the quest was unlocked. This port of the two-part story, it'll recommend that play part of the best experience, and can be picked up with the fight Will Turner in the right here in the building. If you want to continue, you could do the quest return. So, continue. Alright, so this is an example. And this is an example of a quest. Alright, so it says, "Welcome back. I see you're improved your skills with the blade since we last spoke. A blacksmith can always tell. Unfortunately, if you're looking into a new sword, I am not exactly in the position to assist you at the moment. The Navy hiked up the security on Port Royal, so you need to do the best place to start is Padres del Fuego. Seek out the Balthazar Boland and his shipwright there. He should help you get started on crafting the new sword." Alright, so that's how you do a quest. on the game. I'm going to show you what Elizabeth Swan. And I'm going to also show you the pirate, this creepy island. Then I'll get to the Skinny Bob video. Just one more thing after the other thing, and then we'll get to Skinny Bob. Because I know that we want chat to see Skinny Bob. It'll be done in a brief moment. All right, so this is the governor's mansion. The governor. The governor's mansion. The governor's mansion. All right, that's the governor's mansion. All right. All right, this is, and you have my dude beat me to it. Shout out to Zero. That's hilarious that he went there. Shout out to him. That's Governor Swan. This is the candles. And that is my buddy Zero. And this is Elizabeth Swan. Right there. That's her at her desk. Right there. And you see what she has to say. Got new weapons like the sword of Torrenton, something like that. Yeah, so that is Elizabeth Swan. All right. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. Moki, I think the Skinny Bob video is real, especially with him blinking and using his hands and stuff like that. All right. Okay, now, just to do it quickly, we'll go to the Skinny Bob video now, just in case if anybody leaves in the time period where I go to Raven's Cove. So I'm going to briefly leave the game. We'll open up the other window. I'll just leave the window open, and we're going to go to the other thing for a second. Okay. We're going to go to it right now, Mookie. I'm not going to be holding you hostage for, except with a safe word, maybe. Just joking. Or maybe I'm not joking. All right. So go here and going to... All right. So now we're going to... Shout out to the Spaceship Cats. All right. And now we're going to go to Skinny Bob. All right. So now we're going to go in the Skinny Bob. Yeah, Alien isn't joking. All right, here we go. All right, this is Skinny Bob. We're going to play it. Okay. Yeah, that's certainly real to me. It blinks and everything. And this is the gray alien. Skinny Bob. All right, so that is Skinny Bob, the gray alien. And that, I saw that when I was a kid. I'm like, that thing's very realistic. So we have right here. It looks to you like what you wake up in the morning, what you look like. That, I don't know. I think it was from the 50s. I don't know what year it was from. Yeah, so that's the gray alien. and it's moving around, and it's a secret government footage from the Soviets of a gray alien that they found, or that they held captive. So that's very similar to the Ebians I was talking to you all about. Yeah, it's completely, it blanks and everything. Yeah, around the 60s. Yeah, it was from the Soviets. Some a milli something, JK. Jacob, bro, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. All right, so I'll show you all the game again for a second. I'll show you all the game again for a moment. All right. I'm going to show you all Raven's Cove. But yeah. Yeah, Joyce, you're still on the fence. That's okay. Understandable. I'm glad you're at least open to seeing a possible truth. A possibility that this could be true. I'll look at a map where Raven's Cove is. Maybe I could go there quicker. Let's go to... Oh, I could go to Raven's Cove, actually. I could just teleport there. I didn't know I could do that. Yeah, thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Skinny Bob, the alien from the KGB video, was filmed in 1961 by the Soviet Union. The video was once top secret but leaked online in 2011. Alright, this is Raven's Cove. It's a very spooky island. And at night, it's very creepy. This is the music to it. It's kind of sad. Yeah, thank you, Zero, so much for helping out. The story here is that, very great music, by the way, that Jolly Roger and his group burnt down this very nice island, and there's ghosts and goblins and ghouls here. Now, the alien autopsy, many in our chat, in our group, think it's fake, but Moki, do you think it's real? I'm just curious. Yeah, they don't look hostile. They look very cute, like angels. I think they were created to be something very good, but did they go a bad direction? It's up for debate. Like, I don't think God creates anything evil, but things can choose to become evil. Yeah, I know. I'm the kind of person where I don't have to see something to believe it, because if there's enough evidence to support, because there's a lot of movies I saw and a lot of things that happened where people said it wasn't true, but it became true later. So I thought the best moral lesson was to believe something, and if I'm disproven later, that's okay. And I want to say this. I want to say this. That basically they there's this planet Nibiru, Planet 10. That's what we think Planet Serpo is actually Planet 10 or Nibiru, because it seems like it matches what Nibiru is. And basically, with Planet Serpo, like Nibiru, for instance, Joyce, they always told us that some teachers and the students thought that my friend, codenamed Douglas, was very crazy to think. Yeah, I think someone's invisible. So basically, what happened was that they're now saying NASA and science are now saying it's likely that there are gray alien. I mean, that there are Nibiru is probably real, the Planet 10, but there's dispute about it that it's not completely confirmed that it's real, and they think it's not true. But there's these objects beyond Neptune. Now, my friend didn't know all this information I know now, and you have Planet 10, and it goes out and it orbits our our planet every few thousand years or a couple thousand years or so. And they're saying it wasn't real, but all these planets beyond Neptune are orbiting something very large. So they believe that Nibiru is somewhere in there. I personally believe that they know Nibiru's there, but they don't tell us the truth until later. But now they're releasing more information about Nibiru. Now they are. I'm going to see how this goes. And also, we have some good points. Mookie says they are different kinds of grays. I'm right behind this man. Okay, I'll watch. What? Oh my good. Oh my. Oh my. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm tripping. Oh my goodness. Scared. Hello, Eugene. Good to see you. All right, so Moki says there are different types of grays, but I've seen talk that they're almost like slaves. Also, I read they can't reproduce. Mookie, they are like slaves, apparently, to the lizard aliens. And also, Mookie, I'll tell you another conspiracy theory. I'm not doing it now, Zero, but I'll do the quest later on, at some point. I'll let you know and we can do it together. So basically, they are the alien. There's a theory that this is a Abrahamic interpretation. So Judaism, Islam, Christianity would have some mutual agreement on this, probably, depending on what people believe. So basically, the aliens, or a lot of the aliens that we're seeing, especially the Greys, are some sort of fallen angel, or something to do with this group of angels that went with the Earth women, and they created these hybrids. And interestingly, like I was talking to you about the other story, the alien story, is where they took these humans and made these alien human hybrids. Like there's the Nephilim that were created, these giants, these giant aliens, these giant human angel hybrids that were created, like Goliath and stuff like that. So they were artificially trying to create a race of humans, and they were doing it to, challenge us and challenge God. So that is what happened with that's a theory, and that these are from another dimension, and that they have to do something with that. And I know that my friend and I were talking about it before. In his theory, we believe they're from another planet. Now there's other theory that they're these fallen angels in disguise as aliens, or they're just basically the watchers that are supposed to watch us, but then they changed. And that's why they don't reproduce, because they're angels, or something with them. And Goliath was taken down by a teenager because God blessed and favored him to do that. And Goliath was a descendant of the Nephilim. And also, there's supposedly giants on Mars. I should get off the internet. Well, Mookie, you're in the right place. And Zero said something, and let's see. I'm gonna read what he has to say because I kind of like was on a rant for a second. Okay, watch. You will need to remember this for later. Okay, thank you, Zero. I'll need to remember this place for later. When you do the storage quest, you are welcome. Now I have to go back to Cuba. I just remembered this was where it was. Okay, thank you, Zero. Thank you. All right. Well, all right. This is a part of the game. Very interesting. Very good spot. And Zero is a subscriber, and he plays the game with me. Very good game. When back in 2020, I played this game before the Law and Crime, before I was getting really big on YouTube again, and like even in 2019, when I uploaded that one video that has over 20,000 views right now, the sound effect that I did. Basically, I played this all day and all night with my friends. It was very similar to the Law and Crime chat, but it was a chat group on here. And I used to play it and do work with my family's, business stuff, and also I would do this at the same time. I don't play it as much because I play Law and Crime. Correct, correct. But you got to remember, and Tony, it says in Genesis that these angels came from the. It says in Genesis that the angels came down and made it with earth women. It's in Genesis. Also, it's in Numbers. So it is in there. This is from the Old Testament. You know, that the Nephilim were there in those days. Remember, the Israelites are fighting the giants, and there are grasshoppers compared to them in the land of Canaan. It's in the Old Testament. It's about Satan. There's dispute about Satan. About he was seen as an well in the Garden of Eden. He in Genesis he had them eat the forbidden fruit, so he doesn't seem like he was too good either. But the New Testament, in our opinion, in Christianity, is that Jesus also confirmed it, and he also and his disciples showed more information because the Old Testament was there, and then the New Testament fulfills it and also gives the rest of the information that was fulfilled there, but it doesn't contradict the Old Testament. Of course, there's dispute about that, but yeah. So that is, I said this is based on that Testament. Hello, Anne. Good to see you. All right, I'm back. Okay, we're gonna go over here and go there. Okay. All right, let's look up what the definition of Nephilims are. The Nephilim. Let's do this real quick. All right, the Nephilim in the Hebrew Bible, in the Old Testament, is a group of mysterious beings of people of unusually large size and strength who lived before and after the flood. The Nephilim are referenced in Genesis and are possibly referenced in Ezekiel. So it is in there, and also what God says about the Nephilim. Genesis 6:4 says, the Nephilim were in the earth in those days, and they were the sons of God that came down for the daughters of men, and they bore children. So the sons of God, the fallen angels, came, this is from the Old Testament, came for the earth women, and they bore children with them, and the same were mighty men that were old and men of renown. So in the Old Testament, right there, it says that the sons of God, the fallen angels, and the earth people, the earth women, they made it and created those giants. There you go. Old Testament. That is not from the New Testament. All right. So yeah, it was buffering. The Philistine Goliath tribe. Yes. Karma B. You how are you doing, Karma B? How are you doing? Alan, my bro, good to see you, man. And Anne, I'm so glad to see you in the chat with us. It's been a while. All right. And yeah, Karma B, wondering how you are doing. You're doing pretty good. That's good. All right. Yeah, so Tony, I am quite passionate about these things. But yes, that is the Torah, the origins in the Torah of these beings. I'm not trying to I'm being very dramatic, but yes, that is where they come from. Yeah, Zero, that sucks when they do that. Let's see. The literal term fallen angel in that literal term does not appear in the Abrahamic religious text, but it is used to describe angels cast down out of heaven or angels who sinned, and such angels often tempt humans to sin. So it does not. So it's talking about that in a certain reference. Right, Alan. They are offspring of the fallen angels. Correct. The Hebrew Nephilim means fallen ones. So they do not mean what she was saying. And Choni's a very amazing, brilliant person. She's great, but I just Nephilim Torah does not mean giant. It means person of importance. But according to the Hebrew, Nephilim means literally the fallen ones. So Nephilim means someone that's a fallen person, and the strict transition into Greek would be petokotos, which the fact appears in Ezekiel also. So fallen angels. Tony, it's all right. It's all good. And yes, in Hebrew is a lot of what's it called? Words in it. There's a lot of words in it. Yes, I agree. But yeah, that's just to explain to you what this stuff means exactly. And also, Nephilim are biblical figures that appear twice in the Torah. First, Genesis, a verse that describes the unions between the Ben Ehi Elhihum, the daughters of men, and in Numbers 13:33, which 12 spies reported they saw the Nephilim in Canaan. So in Numbers 13:33, the 12 spies saw the Nephilim in Canaan. Yes, and I do not have the translation from Alexandria. It was burned, and I don't know what is or what isn't or how it pertains to this specific case. But yes, thank you, Tony, for bringing this up, and I hope that you found this educational. And hello, Liberty. Good to see you. That is true, Zero. That is true. Now I'm going to let's see talk about we'll talk about Sepro in more explicit detail, and I want to review something. And Tony, I want to view something from every angle. Okay, and I will view this. We're gonna see one more thing about this, and see about how it pertains to your case. Hello, Duke. Good to see you. And Liberty says, weren't they only on Mount Hermon? I heard Israel has gotten control over again. I'm not entirely sure about that. We could look up. We could look it up. You were a Christian for many decades. You didn't know. Well, Tony, my family and Judaism is a fine religion. Tony, that's okay that you follow that. All right, that is where us Christians came from. We just, as I said, believe that Jesus is the chosen one, part of the Trinity that came down, and that's a topic for another time. But so nothing wrong with Judaism. I believe in that. That's a true religion that my faith came from, and the Torah I believe is completely true. Everything in it is true, and you and I both follow it. I just follow the additional gospel, and now the Muslims follow the Quran. There's some things. This is going to be a trigger everybody, but I do not. I'm not a Muslim, but there are little things in the Quran that they talk about aliens or stuff a little bit here and there allegedly, and doesn't mean everything in it is true or false. But I don't really know. I don't follow that religion, but the Muslims follow an additional book, but I follow the gospel and the Torah. And so basically, let's see what this has to say from the Judaism, the source of Judaism. And also, Tony, actually in the Torah they talk about the Trinity, because David prayed to the Spirit, so the Holy Spirit was mentioned because King David prayed to the Holy Spirit, and also the burning bush, for instance, God was able to appear in a burning bush to Moses, so that was an attribute of God that appeared as the burning bush there. And also Daniel talks about the Son of God, if it's Jesus or not, and that he stands at the right hand of God, and that he's one with him. So Daniel also talks about another person in there. So the point is that it is in the Torah, in the Old Testament, but you see, you have people that, built golden idols, and Moses got angry and he broke the 10 Commandments. And I'm not against the Jewish people or Israel, but they had a history of maybe not always following what God said, perhaps. So there is basically, a situation. And for instance, it says that he was pierced for our iniquities. And it talks about Jesus being crucified. And one of I see Nikki. It says, aliens exist. We are not alone in the galaxy. Hello, Nikki. Good to see you. So that is basically, another explanation about that. And I'm going to get to more about what you said. I want to look at this article real quick. And I'll see chat. And basically, you love space and math. Well, I'm glad you do, Nikki. And I'm glad to have you here in chat. You're welcome. And everybody is welcome to be here. And let's see. I was going to say something. Okay, I want to quote the Isaiah thing really quick. Let's see if I could get it. All right. So this is something from Isaiah. This is something from the Old Testament. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. He was punished and brought us peace was on him. And by his wounds we are healed. We are like sheep have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. This is from the Old Testament. This is from the Torah. It's from Isaiah. I wonder who they're talking about. Thank you. So there you go. You have some references to Jesus. People may believe he's God or a prophet. This sounds similar to a Christ situation, but if that is taken out of context and that's incorrect, I'd like to know another view. That's fine. I'll read this from the Judaism perspective about this with the Nephilim real quick. All right, so this is from a Jewish source. Reintroducing the myth of the fallen angels into Judaism. So this is from a Judaic source for Tony. Let's see what they say about it, because I don't want to give her a biased view from my point of view. I want to give it from both sides. As I remember from trials and stuff I watched, I want to be fair and give both sides, and I want to find the truth. And I do not want to just talk about what I believe. I want to find what the truth is actually. All right, angels into Judaism. Literature and art are replete with images of angels descending to earth and joining humanity. One source of this image is Tracy Count of Genesis describing fallen angels is expanded upon in the Second Temple literature. This interpretive edition is suppressed in the classic rabbinic literature, only to resurface again in the late narratives in Midrash per the Rabbi Eliezer. All right, so that's a depiction of it. Aliens like math. That's something that they like, and that's a depiction of it. Yeah, math can be very difficult, and I when I had a different teacher, and I'm speaking my own experience, and I really focused on it. I did very good with the math. Like when I applied myself and really focused on it. But math, some people are not good with math. So with everybody's good at something, and if someone is not good at school or good at something like that, like this took. I was obsessed with aliens with my buddy in school when I was a kid, and I pursued it, and it got me on YouTube. Here I am. So follow your heart, and the dots will connect in your future, whatever you'd like to do. And basically, the dots will connect, and that whatever you're passionate about or love to do, that's what you should pursue. And like Steve Jobs created Apple, and Bill Gates created the PC. So just trust that the dots will connect, and every experience you have as life goes on will be very good. And there's bad days. There are bad days, but there's also good days, and anything good or bad happens, you have a story to tell and you can learn from it. All right, so now I'll get into this about the Judaic view of this. When from the tents beyond a beehive, which I'm pronouncing it wrong, of fair woman, richly gay, not the gay as homosexual, but gay as meaning happy, in gems and wanton dress, the harp they sung, soft armors, dietis, and dance come on men, through the grave they them, and their eyes rave without reen, until the aromas net, fast caught, light each of his choosing. Yeah, shout out to Rebecca. Well, I love math, geometry, highly advanced geometry, astronomy combined. Nikki, I had a very good geometry teacher when I was in school, and he was the headmaster, and he was very, very brilliant, and I learned a lot of stuff from him. Yeah, I like that. Geometry is a very, very good subject. And also shout out to Joyce and shout out to 49ers Mama with the incident with Rebecca helping her when she had her seizure. They called 911 on her behalf. I believe it was 49ers Mama specifically. And they got her help in spite of the trolls. So I appreciate those two for helping her out. That was very great. All right, so now here we go. Fallen angels in literature and art. From Milton's epic Paradise Lost to the iconic Wings of Desire, poets, artists have been enthralled by the idea of angels in architecture. To steal phrase from Paul Simon, Wim Wenders from 1987. Tells the story invisible divine beings who wander the streets of Berlin, eavesdropping on the thoughts of men and women. One angel falls in love with a beautiful, lonely trapeze artist, which she aspires to reach heavenly heights. He forgoes his incorporeal nature to join the four beings of mortal men. Origin. And Tony, I understand what you're saying, and I'll go and look into that after I read this. All right? Understood. The origin of the myth of fallen angels, according to der Juden, or Judaism, as the English word is. Origin of myth of fallen angels. The origin of the modern romantic fantasy has found the cryptic opening of the 6th chapter of Genesis, essentially the relic of ancient mythological saga concerned with relations between divine beings and mortal women. Wings of Desire, applauding the angels' descent of earth, but the biblical text, as well as the later expansions of the myth in the Second Temple period of Jewish literature, angels' descent, twirly lusts linked to the spawning of giants, the corruption of humankind. Tony, I care how people behave as well. And Tony, we're having a civilized discussion about this. There's no hard feelings here. I'm learning, and we're both learning together. When men began to increase on earth and daughters were born to them, the divine beings saw how beautiful the daughters of men were and took wives from among those that pleased him. Yahweh said, "My breath shall not abide in man forever, since he too is flesh. Let the days allow him be 120 years." It was then and later too that the Nephilim appeared on earth, with the divine beings cohabitated with the daughters of men who bore them offspring. They were heroes of old and men of renown. Like these giant beings that did all these different things. Karma B and Kathy, I totally agree about Colin Griffith. I think that was terrible what he did. You know, killing his parents is terrible. Tony says, in Christianity, no Jesus, no salvation. In Judaism, it's your actions that matter. People can say anything. It's what they do that matters. And Tony, that I have a question. Why did they sacrifice animals in the temple if it's all about your actions? They sacrificed lambs, and also they're trying to rebuild the temple and sacrifice another creature. They're trying to sacrifice the red heifer. So they wanted atonement for their sins. They had the Ark of the Covenant, and they did sacrifice for their sins. But as Jesus prophesied, their temple would be destroyed, and it was destroyed. And because in Christian theory, they did not need a temple anymore because Jesus was the final sacrifice on the cross, so they didn't need it anymore. But as the scripture says, the stiff-necked people that are set in their ways, it's okay, that they just people could come up with their own interpretation of something, but they did do sacrifices for the atonement of sins, and they also sacrificed doves. That's why in Isaiah they were referencing the lamb, because that's what Jesus would be later. And also in this it says the story of the demigods. The casual connection between the collaboration of angels and humans and genesis of giants called Nephilim is not explicit in the biblical text. Perhaps they simply inhabit the earth in the same time. Nevertheless, the late biblical scholar Roberto Castro assumes the connection, argues that the passage serves that the ethical accounts a just so story of the existence of giants and Nephilim, the heroes of old and men of renown, born as consequence of the collaboration between divine beings and the daughters of men. Their name Nephilim derives from the verb to fall, descend, and testify the demotion of their ancestors to the angels. And Alan says, I suspect this thing called God is beyond any religion that humans can understand. God is every religion. And we as humans just mess up as we generally do. And there are human errors. And there are humans that, we all fall into error. But it's good to believe in God and have spirituality for those that do. As I said, that's great that Tony believes in Judaism. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm glad she does, and I believe that they're chosen people of God, that He chose for a special, He has a special blessing upon them, and I believe in my faith that He will return to them and He will show them the wounds in His hands, and they will mourn for him as they lost their only child. But as I said, it's okay that they reject Christ in this certain instance because it may be something throughout history they may have done. So I'm not going to be here to try to convert or change Tony or any of the Jews, but I will talk about my opinion and her view about it as well. It's okay. It's all good. And yes, Nikki, amen. The Lord did create all. And God is the creator of the universe itself. Yes. And I believe that in regards to people who don't believe in Jesus as the Messiah or not, he gave a lot of good moral lessons about forgiving others and loving your neighbor and to not judge others, or stoning people. They used to stone people all the time. But Jesus said to cast the first stone that has not sinned. So I don't think that was a bad thing he said. So I think that Jesus had a lot of good teachings, if he's real or not. I think that it's good for people. I think that he had a lot of good teachings. And why would God allow his religion to spread all over the world if he's false? Why couldn't he have stopped him? And the Muslims believe he's the Messiah also. The Muslims believe he's the Messiah as well. And it's like, God should have stopped this false Messiah, if he was a false one. That's just my view about it. Comparison with the Greek. They didn't teach stoning. All right. All right. They didn't stone anybody. Okay. All right. I got you. All right. Let's do this. Let's see. In Deuteronomy 21:18-21, this is the Old Testament, the King James Version. It says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey his father, let him... I'll read this again. All right, because I'm just watching. Okay. If a man have stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them, then shall his father and his mother lay hold of him and bring him out unto the elders of the city and unto the gate of his place. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, our son is stubborn and rebellious, he will not obey us, and his voice glutton and drunkard. And all the men in his city shall stone him with stones, and that he die. Shalt thou put evil from among you, and Israel shall her fear. There you go, there's a story about stoning. And in Islam, they believe in the Old Testament because they believe that God, that the Old Testament is not abolished like Christianity believes. And that's why in Islam, they stone people in some parts for different things that they do. Because they don't have a savior, that Jesus was just a prophet, and they have to do the same things they did in the Old Testament. And so they follow the same thing with stoning, but Jesus got rid of stoning. I don't want to believe in a religion that's going to stone people for their sins. Jesus taught not to do that. Tony, they did stoning back then. That's what it's saying. They did the stoning. They were commanded to do that. It was giving them the instructions to stone because that's what they did. And I know you don't believe in the New Testament, but in the New Testament, there is a woman being stoned by the Pharisees that focus on Isaiah 52, and not the type of people like that. And they were stoning someone for adultery, and Jesus said, cast the first stone that does not sin. And it's a documented event, even if it's not in the Old Testament, which there was stoning in the Old Testament, definitely. But the stoning was described that was happening there. That's where Islam got it from. It's like, so if someone's doing something sinful, they're stoned. Right, exactly, Kathy. And also Karma says, I was raised Catholic, but I prefer more Native American approach to spirituality because I do not believe only humans have souls. I believe that too about humans with souls. Matt, good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Comparison with, and also I'll say this: Paul, before he became of the prophet of Christianity, he stoned people for believing in Jesus. So he was Judaism, and there Stephen was talking about Christ, and they wouldn't stone him for talking about Jesus. So there you go. It was from the Jews, and they were stoning him for talking about Jesus. And on top of that, Jesus was stoned and crucified for claiming to be the Messiah. So it's it happened to him at least. There you go. And by the Pharisees' law, he was put to death. And they spit in his face, and they beat him, and they mocked him. So I'm sure they probably stoned people too. So I'd rather a more peaceful religion like Christianity that doesn't stone people. All right, so comparison with Greek and mythology. Among the Greeks and the peoples of ancient Near East, many mythic tales of the sexual relations between gods and mortal women were told, in which the product of the unions were regarded as demigods and heroes. Of the unions regarding of the demigods, heroes of a golden age in a myth. For example, the Perseus and Hercules were both born of the union between Zeus and mortal women. So like I told you, in these other religions, they talk about the Nephilim type concept, so that's what has to do with that. Danae and Alcmene, respectively. Similarly, the great Sumerian king turned hero, and Gilgamesh was said to be the son of King Lugabanda, and who was himself part human and part god, and a goddess Ninsun. So they talk about these gods and goddess, these gods mixing with humans. They're talking about the fallen angels, in my opinion. And Tony, I understand there's controversy with Paul, and Islam has problem with Paul too. And I'm not saying that maybe everything Paul said was 100%, and he even said that Paul himself said he may have had some errors. But I do think that he had many truths, and a lot of the stuff he says does not contradict what the other disciples of Christ said, but they all seem to confirm each other. Like it doesn't contradict. You don't see a big difference between the two. They seem pretty much the same thing, but that's noted on the record. And I follow Jesus. I don't follow Paul or anybody but Christ himself, and believe in God. Just as you believe in God, I believe in God too, and it's okay. You believe in a legitimate religion, Tony. Not that my approval matters, and I think Judaism is a great religion, but I'm talking about the stuff from like the Old Testament in that time. And Mookie says, I blame the Canadians. Kid, I kid. Trial chat jokes. Right? And she says, his version was subjective, not objective. But to deny the truth, we could both agree to deny truth is rejective. Now we're going to talk about this account from the ancients, and I'll get to y'all in a moment. Compresses its world into a few sentences as though they wish to convey that, and finds the entire topic wholly ungenial, and that the subject is mentioned It is mentioned not for its own sake, but in order to disabuse the reader's mind of certain notions. The declaration, "My spirit shall not abide in man," implies that do not believe the heathen tales about human beings of divine origin who are rendered immortal. This is untrue, for every man must die, and must be to his flesh. This will be born unto the intercourse of the sons of God and the daughters of men, where the truth of gigantic mighty yet did not live forever. All right. So that's some stuff from the Judaic sources. Kathy, you're doing okay. Everybody's doing okay in chat. And 49ers Mama says, if Jesus is in all religion, then why is it there are many beliefs? It would be easier to have one religion. Now, 49ers Mama, I believe that God has inspired different faiths, even in Asia. You know, Confucius said very similar things to Jesus. And Buddha and Confucius said very similar things to Christ. And very in an eerie way. You know, Confucius said to not focus on the snow on your step, focus on the snow on your neighbor's step when there's snow on your own step. And Jesus said to not be concerned about what's in your brother's eye, but what's in your own eye. And I think that God inspired prophets all over the world. And there are many different. So, originally, to your question, humans got corrupted because of the fall of man, because of Adam and Eve. And then what happened was these religions started popping up everywhere because what I'm talking about here, the Nephilim, the false gods, they created these fallen religions and they want to be worshipped as gods, the fallen angels. So that explains why you had these religions like the Hindus and these different pagan religions like the Nordic people and Jupiter and all, because they were fallen angels that want to be gods. And then you have different interpretations. So there's a theory in Christian theory that Satan wanted to deceive people and didn't want people to believe Jesus was the Son of God because he didn't want people to have salvation go to hell. So they wanted to make sure that there's these religions that popped up where people wouldn't be saved but go with them to hell when they all go to hell in a day of judgment. So that is why there's different religions, because of people, humans just made their own interpretations of things. Tony made a very good point because she says there's 49,000 denominations of Christians. And you see, I agree with you, Tony. Christianity, when it broke off from Catholicism, I'm personally a Protestant now, more of a Protestant, but I kept a lot of Catholic traditions later on. But yeah, I'm not saying the Catholic Church has issues, but there's a Catholic Church, and then it broke up into all these different Protestant factions because everybody had their own interpretation. And I agree with you, Tony, that there's a lot of Christian denominations. I agree with you. And I do not know what happened to the 3 million on Sinai. I don't know. And also, Tony says, when sin first mentioned in Genesis, it's not the paradise narrative. Where is it not mentioned specifically? You said, where is it mentioned in Genesis? Where is it not mentioned? You know, it's kind of like, give something specific here. So, when Adam and Eve ate the forbidden fruit, that was the first sin. But specifically, where does it say there isn't sin? Yes, correct, Stranded. Everyone has their own beliefs, and no one is wrong for what they believe in. And Tony, there's actually near-death experiences. People have seen hell, and people have seen heaven. There are near-death experiences. They may not be real or not, but there are near-death experiences. And also, 49ers Mama says a very good point. She says that the Catholic priests are raping children. I agree with you, and that's very evil. And I think that is wrong for them to do that. And as I said, the Catholic Church has been very corrupted. I agree with you. I'm not Catholic. I get it. And Tony, you have very good points. And I'm not trying to debate anybody here. I'm just trying to get to the truth. And I'm just speaking things from my perspective. And simply, a sin means falling short. That's what a sin means. Somebody missing the mark. That's what the meaning of sin is, Tony. It was an act of disobedience itself. Exactly. Exactly, Kathy. And continuing on, I appreciate the chat. Very good conversation. And I like there's a lot of people here. Shout out to all of you. Yes, Joyce, that's why I also backed out from it. All right. And Jubilees, on the other hand, does not ascribe evil to knowledge, but rather to generic admixture of the corrupted angels and women. Some of these fallen angels survived the flood on the behest of Mestama, the leader of the corruptible, to Satan, and became demons, the servants of Satan on earth, and thus continue to play a role in tempting humans to sin, but interpretations assume Beni Elohim in the story of angels. All right. Jubilees, on the other hand, does not ascribe to evil knowledge rather than the genetic admixture of corrupted angels and women. Some of these fallen angels survive the flood, be hosts, and some become demons, who servants of Satan. I read that. All right, who created aliens? So, if aliens on other planets, if they exist, which I believe they do, were created by God, but also they could have been created by fallen angels. And basically, with the fallen angels, with the aliens. So the other theory is that the aliens were the some of the aliens we're seeing are actually the angels themselves created by God, or they're created by the fallen angels themselves somehow. So I do believe we could all agree that there is a God. Something created us. Like, Tony, you're making excellent points, and I really appreciate your view on this discussion. All right, very, very well done. And it's important, that we could see that there's something there, and I'm glad that we could agree on that. That there is something there, that God is there, and God created them. Yeah, not all Muslims are bad people. That's true. I agree with that. And when you get with the Muslims being extremely, saying they're all terrorists and stuff, that's going to incite them more to become more terroristic, possibly. So no, I don't think all Muslims are bad. I agree with that, Kathy. The consequence of sexual breach of boundaries between angelic and human realm are not the result of a new race of beings, the Nephilim, born of the angels, and are derived from acquisition of illicit knowledge from the angels. Let's see. Eugene says a good point. You are free to believe whatever you want as long as your beliefs don't infringe on the rights of others. A well-being. Amen. That is right, Liberty. Jesus is a holy prophet in Islam, and they believe that Jesus is the Messiah. They just don't believe he is God in the flesh. They believe that he's a prophet. And Muhammad even was telling the Jews that the reason why Jesus was crucified he was not crucified because he was a false prophet, but because God wanted to bring him closer to himself. No, Muhammad was very clear about that. But as I said, they don't believe he died on the cross for our sins and all that kind of stuff, and some Muslims don't even believe he was crucified. But yes, they do believe he's a prophet and the Messiah. Yes. Defiance of God. Both humans and giants demonstrating a defiant attitude towards God. The descendants of Cain rebel, claiming not to keep a drop of rain and refusing a walk in the ways, while giants, on account of their stature, assume they are immune to the rising flood. The Midrash functions as a narrative expansion of Genesis 6:1-4, yet the order of events has been changed in their retelling, first of the corruption of men through all kinds of the illicits and through the already fallen angels, etc. All right. That is through that was some more information about that. And now we're going to get into Serpo again. We're going to talk about that for a moment, and then we'll go into the riots that's going on. Amen, 49ers. And God gave us a free will, and as long as your belief isn't hurting other people, that is the most important thing. And it's like, I think that it's important for people to believe in that and believe whatever they want to believe. And I could be wrong, and anybody else could be wrong. So that's why I think it's, I have no problem with anyone else believes. And Tony, I agree with you. And I believe that the Romans persecuted the Jewish people in Israel. And the Jewish people have always been persecuted, even in Egypt. But God always delivered them. And Tony, I believe now, even now, that he still has protection over them, and they're still part of what we are. So, and Tony, you're right. Many Jews, 250,000 Jews died during the Roman occupation. And it was so heartbreaking. And also, I'll tell you this, Tony, that the people were concerned about Jesus coming up, that maybe the Romans would go and destroy them all. And also, besides the other reasons, and also in history, the Romans thought he was a rebel, which of course that's not what the complete view of it, but being a rebel against Rome, that is what the idea of it is. So yes, Tony, the Jews are persecuted by the Romans, and I think that was very wrong, but the Lord delivered them. And when the Holocaust happened and the Soviet persecution, the Lord delivered them. So no matter what comes against the Jewish people, Tony, they will always have victory. And even now. And I believe it's a legitimate religion, and it's okay for you to believe in that. All right? It's not that my opinion matters. I believe it's a legitimate religion. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I don't believe it's a false religion. It's a true religion, and peace be upon them. And Kathy says, Alien, you're covering all the easy subjects tonight. It's good we love and respect each other here. Amen. Tony, as I said, I think that, especially with the Christian factions, Tony, Protestantism and Catholicism, they had so many wars with each other. And They also spread their faith everywhere. Now, Christianity is not like where Islam is about some people believe with Islam. Not all Muslims follow this, but some people think like Islam was spread by the sword. I don't, some people think it was, some people wasn't. But yes, Christianity also had an expansion. And I think, Tony, all religions and all people have a bloody history. Everybody does. So, and the Christian humans have done errors, a lot of errors. And I think that we're all imperfect people and we could all improve. But thank you for bringing that up. I totally agree with you. I don't disagree with you. Very true. And if I am wrong about anything I believe, I'm open to another opinion, and hopefully God can show us all and myself what the truth is. Amen. '49ers mama, I know somebody that believed he was always once you're saved, you're always saved. He did all the sinful stuff he could possibly think of because he's always saved. There's a lot of people, '49ers mama, that do not follow their religion at all. I agree with you. I agree. God says the Jews on Mount Sinai know that I am God. Christianity is belief. Have faith. Faith is very important, Tony. That's what the name of the Jewish anthem is of Israel. And I do agree with that. Absolutely. And Stranded, I understand. I'm going to thank you for the co-pilot. Stranded is the co-pilot. And I'm thankful for her reminding me about Serpio on my screen. And I was just for a moment with Tony, just discussing it briefly for a moment. So, for some final thoughts before I get into this. I'm going to give you all the Planet Serpio summary, completely what we talked about earlier. All right, so here we go. Project Serpio is an alleged top-secret exchange program between the United States government and an alien planet called Serpio in the Zeta Reticuli star system. Details of the alleged exchange program have appeared in several UFO conspiracy stories, including one of the incidents in 1983 in which a man identifying himself as a United States Air Force Sergeant Richard C. Doughty. Mookie, thank you so much for telling me about this Planet Serpio. You did excellent. Good night to you. The United States Air Force Sergeant Richard C. Doughty connected investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howie, claiming to be able to supply her Air Force records to exchange for her HBO documentary, The E.T. Factor, only to pull out without providing any evidence to substantiate his story, and one incident in 2005 when a series of emails were sent to UFO discussion group run by Victor Martinez claiming that the project was real. Some variations of the conspiracy story state that the name Serpio, nicknamed Extrasolar Planet. Other versions state that it is mispronounced of either Serponia or CNU by authorities involved in the project. The first mention of Project Serpio was the UFO email list maintained by enthusiast Victor Martinez. Various versions of the conspiracy theories circulated and were later detailed on by the website according to most common versions of the story. An alien survived the crash near Roswell and later 1940s see Roswell UFO incident. Most common version of the story survived a crash near Roswell in later 1940s Roswell incident. The alien was detained but treated well by American military forces, contacted its home planet and eventually repatriated. The story continues by claiming that this led to the establishment of some sort of relationship between the American government and the people of its home world, and said to be a planet of the binary star system of Zeta Reticuli. I agree, Tony. Amen. Zeta Reticuli has a history in UFOlogy, including Betty and Barney Hill abduction and Bob Lazar story, having been claimed as the home system of an alien race called the Greys. The story finally claims that the 12 American military personnel visited the planet between 1965 and 1978, and that all the party have since died from after effects of the high radiation levels of the two suns. Another version of the story claims 8 team members returned to the 7-month trek home. Team member 308, team pilot 2 died of pulmonary eblonism en route to Serpo. On 9-month journey, 11 arrived safely. 1 died on the planet, and both of their bodies were returned to Earth, while 2 others decided to remain on the aliens' home planet of Serpo. Yes, Tony, I agree. I agree with it too. Group hug, everybody. Group hug. I gotta do this, even if it's my own stream. I gotta do this. Alright. I do this in a law and crime chat. I invented that because I saw it in the Santa Claus movie. And when there's a really intense thing going on in a trial, I say group hug. That's what we do. Max. One criticism of Project Serpo stems from the lack of my friend Karma B. All right, Karma B, you're good to go. All right, you are safe now. One criticism of Project Serpo stems from the lack of one-sided witnesses, and the sergeant discarded the source. Purpose. Okay, we'll read this again. One criticism of Project Serpo stems from the lack from veracity of its alleged witness. Sergeant Richard Dottie has been involved in other alleged UFO-related activities. Majestic 12 and Paul Benowitz, and thus is distracted source of the purposeful provider. Additionally, there is no physical evidence supporting the project's existence. According to Tim Swartz, Mysterious Magazine, Dottie, who promised evidence to Mount Howie before backing out, has been involved in circulating several other UFO conspiracy stories. Swartz also expressed that the details of Project Serpo had varied considerably with different accounts. It has been alleged that the entire series of posts were designed to be viral marketing for a newly book by Dottie. Bill Ryan, a chief proponent of publicizing Project Serpo claims, announced on 5 March 2007 that he was stepping down from his role as webmaster of Serpo material. Ryan nevertheless maintains his belief that an extraterrestrial exchange program did occur, although he states the Serpo release definitely contained disinformation. Tony says, I've got nothing against Islam. It's radical Islam or radical anything. That's the problem. I agree with you, Tony. Understood. Very good point. And Tony, Islam and us Christians, we came from your religion. Because your religion is the OG. Your religion is the foundation where we all came from. So anything you say about this is taken very seriously. Just for the record. Hilarious, Karma B. Hilarious. All right, we talked about that. I want to get into this about the riots. I mean, the protest. Yes, Eugene, I agree. I agree. All right, let's see how this goes. All right. Yes, Tony. Amen. Jesus said to follow the commandments. Amen. I agree. The Ten Commandments are very important, Tony. I think anybody, whoever faith, should follow them. Yes. No, Judaism gave an excellent, excellent faith, an excellent foundation for all of humanity. Because Judaism's not like the pagans and the heathens and stuff, the religion of the Gentiles originally. The people, the Jewish people, their faith was so much better with the Ten Commandments. So the other faiths didn't have that. So that's something good. Yes. All right, we're gonna go here. We have this. All right. So this is something that happened earlier. Teen stabbed after a fight breaks out at LA protest against Trump's immigration policies. And after this, we're going to talk about bricks for karma. A 17-year-old boy is in critical condition after being stabbed Friday at a protest against President Trump's immigration deportation policy near Los Angeles City Hall, authorities said. Los Angeles Police Department received a report around 1:31 p.m. of a male victim being stabbed at 200 N Spring Street after a fight broke out during the protest, according to the department spokesperson. The victim was taken to the hospital. An order to disperse was issued at the protest, police said. I know, Cara B, because at the trials, you love to, like a pit bull, you love to rip them to shreds. An LAPD spokesperson said that a few people were detained in connection with the incident. At 2:12 p.m., LAPD announced that the protest had become cleared from the Spring Street area around City Hall. The public is asked to avoid the area as Spring Street is closed from the Temple Street to the First Street while investigators gather evidence and search for witnesses, according to the LAPD. The protest. I know, right, Tony? The protest moved to the 6th Street at Viaduct and was blocking the westbound lanes after around 2:30 p.m., promoting the temporary closure of the bridge, according to the LAPD. At 2:50 p.m., LAPD said the protesters were walking eastbound of the bridge and that it was set to reopen soon. Allen said, "How many Antifa protest articles while they were burning cities did you post?" Allen, I was not streaming in 2020. I was not streaming back then. But I do not know what articles were at that time period. But I certainly am against Antifa and what they're doing and the riots and stuff that were going on. I certainly agree with you that that was wrong what they did. Friday's rally was the sixth straight day of protest against Trump immigration crackdown in downtown LA. During the week, hundreds of high school students have been walking out of class to join the demonstration. Trump has vowed to carry out the largest deportation effort in U.S. history and declared a national emergency at the southern border, deploying troops there. He has issued executive orders limiting the legal pathways for entering the U.S., bolstering efforts to seal the U.S.-Mexico border, and promoting sweeps to round up the poor people that are not authorized to country. Some orders have been challenged in court. There are estimated 11 million to 15 million immigrants lacking documentation in the U.S. And that is it for that article. And I believe everybody has a right to be in this country, but preferably, like what Chad is saying, it needs to be done the right way. And we don't want to have people that might be terrorists or people that might be, like, for instance, there's a trial that happened. There is an migrant from Venezuela, and there's a lot of people here already. And also, basically, with people, I think that, as I said, it's good for people to, to filter out people that might cause a problem. That's basically to put it in layman's terms. Kathy says Antifa means against fascism. I'm against fascism. Kathy, I'm also against fascism as well. We both agree on that. And always will be. Fire starters were people who were taking advantage of the situation, probably PBS. Now, Kathy, I agree with you. I'm against fascism, and I'm against the people that were burning stuff down as well, and they took an opportunity to do that. I agree. Because it's good to fight fascism, but to not become fascism themselves, to not become the thing that they're trying to stop, I agree, and that to protest peacefully about whatever it is. It's not right for police to go and to like delete somebody for no reason, or stuff like that. So I'm on the same page with you, and I'm glad that you're also against the people that start fires and burn stuff down. I agree, because they're just taking the opportunity to cause a problem and messing up a peaceful protest like what Martin Luther King Jr. did. And it was good what he did. So it's important to do it the correct way and not cause a problem. Thank you, Kathy, for your comment. I agree. And as I said, I did it. I brought up the controversial political topics. I did it. I did it. I did it. All right, anyway. So now let's talk about BRICS. But we're still talking about this as well, BRICS. All right, I heard Mexico was supplying 10K troops permanently. All right, Danny. It's like you as I said, I don't. People can believe as they please, and the Islam claims that they came from our faith. That they did or they didn't, I don't know. I mean, I believe that, as I said, we'll make this clear here. I believe that Christianity is it, and that there is no other prophets sent after that. But there are prophets to inspire and people and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't follow Islam myself. But and also Jesus said there are many false prophets that would come up. But as I said, not all Muslims are bad, and there are some things that they talk about that aren't completely wrong in the Quran. Like they're talking about some alien type thing in there, about the aliens. So as I said, I don't follow Islam. I follow Christianity only. But, we're focusing on this other topic right now and not getting into that. But you have a right to your belief. And as I said, we're going to continue. And I'm going to read some of the chats. My only take on immigration is do not tell me it's a new problem, because I grew up watching a 1970s Houston being built, undocumented construction workers, and no one cared. Understood. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Also, they are going to send all those that have committed serious crimes in our country illegally. And fascism comes in many forms. And also, Eugene, they also say that the anti-fascists, those that are against fascism, something fascism will come into a new form. That the anti-fascists or the fascists, something like that. Because there's a quote that I'm completely butchering over that. But yeah, you might have people that become the thing you're trying to destroy. So hopefully, anti-fascists do not become fascists themselves. And also, we have 49ers Mama says all immigrants, unless you're Indian, let's be honest, they act as we owe them and we are holding them back. And Kathy says, I don't think the protest started the fire. Probably Proud Boys. You think the Proud Boys did it? Okay, understood, noted for the record. And Kathy Smith, there's people, this is another rabbit hole that we're going to go down that's going to be even deeper. It looks like I'm opening up a can of worms, Kathy. There's people at the January 6th thing that happened. There's the same people at the Antifa thing. There's pictures that there's people at both of them. The same people are at both of them. Just so give credit to the theory that you have. And not sure want to mention getting started with bricks. Oh no, Karma B, you're going to be here on a stream where I talk about bricks, and this is the golden moment. In New York, it was black people. I was there to see. I'm tired of them saying we hold them down because they had the same rights as we do. They chose differently. They need to go to school and help people. Yep, that's true. Danny, I understand, but the rest of us have moved on from that subject. Joyce, thank you. I wish that too. You could tell all of us to leave. I love you. I'm sick of the people saying Native Americans own the land. No, they don't. Shout out to Alan. Alan's the warrior of a spaceship. They lost it, and they took it. Someone else to take it from them. Not all Indians just fair in the subject. And they are violent, and no one was offended. Well, as my channel grows, there's more and more chats to keep up with. Wow. All right. Focusing on the topic at hand. Focusing on the topic. There's so many chats, it's hard to keep up with y'all. Okay? I'm going to focus on this right now. And y'all talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay. Is this going to work, or is this going to hurt the stream? Trump or bricks? No, that's not what I was talking about. Bricks. Let's talk about some bricks news. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. Tony says, didn't American Indians, they're also called indigenous people, fight amongst themselves or against the white man? Tony, before we got here, the indigenous people were fighting each other. Before we got here, that's true. And then they fought against us as well. Gold price rising alongside dollar as China BRICS seek safe haven. All right, Karma B, here you go. Here is some BRICS news. Gold has an excellent year in 2024, closing at 25%. Also silver. Silver has gone up drastically. Silver has gone drastically. Silver and gold have both gone up. And Russia has added silver to their reserve currency, and silver has gone up as well. Gold and silver has seen an excellent year in 2024. Closing up to 25% as of today. It is already 10% in 1 month. Not too shabby for an asset claimed to be brought to be boring. I like the indigenous people, the Native Americans. I like them as well. And I like their customs. Princess Dot, or I call her to myself Princess Dot. But Princess T Dot, she's indigenous, and I love her. She's amazing. I love the indigenous people, and they have a great faith. I like them as well. It has outperformed the SP gold and silver have extended excellent year. It has outperformed the S&P 500 index, which is barely above 3%. Magnificent 7 stocks and Nasdaq for the matter. Ordinary gold tends to do well when there is a chance of recession or slowing down the U.S. economy, making it a pure safe haven asset. But the U.S. economic numbers are coming in quite robust. So what does that know about gold that causing it to break away from the traditional relationship? Though there are far more members than the 5 founding members. Right, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. There's many more. Yeah. And it's the BRICS is an alliance of Russia and the Eastern powers against NATO and the Western powers. Yes, they do, Tony. Amen. We all know the U.S. debt story and how stretched it is. Looking back at my metric, going back to World War II, the U.S. has been on the speeding spree of decades, but the last 4 years that tend to been exacerbated today as national debt stands at north 36 trillion with the interest expense alone around 1 trillion with rates where they are. There is no way that US will be able to pay back the debt, nor will our children, unless the government starts to get the GDP going again. That is where AI comes in eventually, but for now, the only other alternative is lower rates, which Trump wants to do desperately. But the Fed cannot give in inflation is not close to 2% target, and we're already seeing the tantrum bond market. And 2024 we did. The Fed has a dual mandate concerning inflation and the labor market. The labor market and economy has remained quite resilient despite all odds over the past years. And with the Fed raising rates aggressively in 2024, a recession was almost certain last year, but it seems like one never came. This is because the Fed has been playing a very delicate game of balancing inflation risks and providing liquidity to the market at the time of extreme stress. Truth be truth, and the bar to cut rates is lower. The bar rises rates, hence the Fed put out the labor market has been softening, but unemployment rate has been arriving at 4.1%, which is the alarming level, but this is where the weakened enough the Fed would complain to act. BRICS is why I called copium. When they said that Brazil and Vietnam would take it up the slack in providing coffee, should we tariff Colombia? That's a very good question, Karma. A very good question. In chat, I'm very proud of all of you. With this, we all are doing very civilized in this. This political conversation went better than I thought. I'm not solely political or religious. We talk about other things too, but these topics, it's been going very well. That would be very interesting, Liberty. Very interesting. That would be. All right. Another very strong tailwind has been the constant foreign countries buying up gold since the Ukraine war, especially China, as they want to diversify away from the U.S. reserves. China is one of the biggest buyers of the two in years, seeing purchases more than 2,800 tons of gold from overseas locations, which, according to Bloomberg, is more than all metal that backs exchange and trade funds, ETFs, around the world, or about a third of the stockpiles held by the Fed. People's Bank of China announced that the addition 10 tons of gold in 2024, its second consecutive month purchase, is the purchase China's official gold holdings 2,280 tons, 5.5% total foreign exchange reserves, and 44 tons more than end of 2023. Its new world order was the goal of the BRICS to de-dollarize as quick as possible. It may take a while, but writing is on the wall. This week, as Trump surpasses the world with aggressive tariff proposals on Canada, Mexico, and China, and the DXY spiked, gold was actually up one of the imagine what gold will do once a dollar starts to fall in the Fed's rate cut, as they say never short of the boring market. Welcome back, Alan. Okay, I knew I should have stayed silent. I'm out, peeps, before I get racist. Well, 49ers mama, no one's calling you racist. It's okay. You could stay. I'm certainly going to be the last person to accuse you of that. All right. All right, so we got some Bitcoin news, and it changed the page. All right, and after I talk about this BRICS news, I want to talk about the Matrix movie, and that'll be away from politics and religion that we could all agree on, and we're going to go into that over here. Okay. We'll talk about this for a moment, though. Iran backed United BRICS currency with a focus on national interests. Look at the person who is saying there's fraud in USAID. Look up all the good they do. All right. Thank you, Kathy. We'll do. Iran supports the unified BRICS currency if all members agree, signaling a shift toward economic cooperation as the bloc explores alternative resilience in the US dollar. Iran supports unified BRICS currency amid global tensions. Iran has expressed willingness to support the creation of a unified BRICS currency provided all the members nations reach consensus of the matter. TASS reports the United on Tuesday. Fetmaha Mohaja Arani, the official spokesperson of Iranian government, addressed the issue during a week briefing, emphasizing Iran's decision would be guided by its national interests. The potential development if a shared currency has been a topic of interest among BRICS members, though opinions remain divided on feasibility and implementation. The discussion surrounding the unified BRICS currency has drawn reactions from the global powers, particularly the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump warned that should the BRICS nations pursue an alternative currency or abandon the dollar, the U.S. would impose 100% tariffs on all goods imported from these countries. The statement highlights the Washington concerns about any shift could challenge the dominance of the U.S. dollar on global trade. However, Russia officials have downplayed the likelihood of such developments in the near future. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov addressed the issue, clarifying that the BRICS is not actively working in the single currency at the time. Instead, noted the BRICS is not currently discussing unified currency of the alliance, focusing instead establishing investments from other countries. While Iran has signaled openness to a joint currency, BRICS remains focused on expanding economic cooperation through investment rather than monetary unification. The alliance has been exploring to reduce dependence on the US dollar, including increasing trade sentiments in the local currencies on Iran's support. The realization of a single BRICS currency would require overcoming significant economic, political challenges as well as reach full agreement full of member states. All right, Kathy, thank you for your information. So, Kathy, I'm glad that you said that because that's not something I've heard on the right. I've not heard about them being hackers. Because basically what they're saying is that they're people like myself that are trying to do something a good advanced innovative deed for our society. And so, thank you, Kathy, for bringing up that this alleged that there are a bunch of hackers breaking into computers. So, thank you, Kathy. And if they are breaking into computers and doing something nefarious, I think that needs to stop right now. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. And I don't know. That's why I intentionally brought people here that were different, where you don't just have one opinion, you have different perspectives. Alien spaceship's quite clever. All right, and now I am going to talk about the Matrix movie a little bit, and then we will end it. All right. So the Matrix. The Matrix is a 1999 science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis of the first installment of the Matrix film series, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Carrie Ann Moss, Hugo Weaves, and Joe Pantoliano. It depicts one prophesied to defeat the machines. Morpheus recruits him into the rebellion against the machines. All right, we'll be coming back. We're back now, everybody. We're back now. All right, so Planto is described as a dystopian future in which humanity is unknowingly trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality created by intelligence, believing computer hackers Neo to be the one prophesied to defeat the machines. Morpheus recruits him into the rebellious against the machines. Yes, and Karma Beast says you realize the whole red pill came from this movie, so much getting away from politics. There you go. All right, Joyce, get your lovely beauty sleep, and we will see you on the next trials and whatever else. All right. Good night to you, Joyce. Peace be upon you. Take care. Following the success of Bound, Warner Bros. Gave the go-ahead to The Matrix after Wachowskis sent to an edit film's opening minutes. According to the scenes, were influenced by anime portrayed films, and the film popularized the saying such as the red pill popularized a visual effect known as bullet time, in which a character's heightened perception was released in short progress of slow motion in which a camera and the scene with speed was normal. All right, so we're going to talk about the plot of this, and then we'll end it. In 1999, an unnamed city, Thomas Anderson is a computer programmer known as Neo in a hacking crisis. Hacking circles delves into the mystery of the Matrix. His search brings him to attention hacker Trinity, who discloses that the enigmatic Morpheus can answer Neo's questions. At his workplace, Neo is pursued by police agents led by Agent Smith. Morpheus guides Neo's escape by phone and able somehow remotely observe their remotes, but ultimately surrenders rather than takes hazardous gateway risks. The agents integrate Neo about Morpheus, but he refuses to cooperate. In response, Neo's mouth suddenly seals shut, and the agents implant a robotic device in his abdomen. Neo awakens at home, initially dismissing the encounter, the nightmare, until Trinity and her allies arrive, extract the implanted tracker, and bring Neo to Morpheus. Their leader, Morpheus, offers Neo a choice: a red pill to uncover the truth about the Matrix, or a blue pill to forget about everything and return to his normal life. Opting for the red pill, Neo's reality distorts. He awakens submerged in a mechanical pond with invasive cables. Scared. 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 Running throughout his body, Neo witnesses the countless inert humans simply encasing the tendencies by machines before he is ejected from the facility resources by Morpheus aboard the hovercraft, the Nebuchadnezzar. Morpheus reveals that the year is approximately 2199. In the 21st century, humanity lost the war with their artificially intelligent creations, leaving the Earth devastated and ruined. As a last resort, humans blackened the sky to eliminate machines' access to solar power and respond to the machines' developed farms and artificially grown humans to harness their bioelectric energy. The Matrix is simulated reality based in human civilization, at its peak designed to help keep the subjugated humans oblivious and pacified, and remaining the free humans establish underground refuge known as Zion, living harsh existence on the Scar. Resource. Scared. Morpheus' rebel crew hack the Matrix to free others and recruit them, manipulating the rules the simulation to gain superhuman physical abilities. Even so, they are outmatched by the overwhelmingly powerful agents, sentient programs protecting the Matrix, and the dying Matrix causes death to real world. Morpheus liberated Neo because he believes him to be scared. The one prophesied figure destined to dismantle the Matrix and liberate humanity. Yeah, you're welcome, Alan. Alan thinks it's hilarious. Yeah, and Kathy, thank you for giving us information about this, because we're given one-side information, Kathy. We're just given one opinion. So I'm glad that we're balancing out, because if you have a one-party state, Kathy, you have like a dictatorship like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. So it's good to balance it out. The crew enters the Matrix to seek guidance from the oracle and prophetic figure who's foretold the existence of one. She implies that Neo is not one and warns him immediate choice between the life of Morpheus's crew and the ambushed agents against being betrayed by cyber restful crew members who wants to reinserted into the Matrix. Hello, Mike Jones. Good to see you. And also resurrected in the Matrix enjoys the comforts of convincing Neo's importance. Morpheus sacrifices himself to the comfort Smith, only overpowered and captured. Meanwhile, Cypher exists in the Matrix, begins forcefully disconnecting others, killing them before the Cypher. And kill Neo, and Trinity tank subdued the crew member, regains consciousness and kills Cypher and safely extracts the survivors. We should go over to Baron Trump book thing, the time traveling thing. Smith integrates Morpheus, obtain the access codes to Zion's mainframe, and that's synchronicity, because Tony was talking about Zion, and Zion as we talked about here, so that's a synchronicity right there. Mainframe, which will allow them to end human resistance. Determined to rescue Morpheus, Neo re-enters the Matrix with the Trinity. They successfully free Morpheus, who escapes the Matrix with Trinity, but Smith intercepts Neo, gaining confidence and abilities. Neo fights Smith, demonstrating the comparable power and eventually killing him. However, Smith resurrects into a new body and kills Neo. Scared. And Kathy says a very good point. The richest man in the world can sell your information for leverage. And Kathy, a lot of times money is a route to a lot of things. That is very true. And, that seems like the root of quite a few things. So there you go. Thank you, Kathy, for your insight. In the real world, the machine forces called Sientals attack Nebuchadnezzar by Neo's body. We're almost done here. Trinity confesses her love for him, and the other oracle prophesied she would fall in love and not be scared. With one, the Matrix, Neo reveals newfound abilities to perceive and control the Matrix. He effortlessly destroys Smith and exists in the Matrix. Just as Nebuchadnezzar, electromagnetic pulse disables the ship power, and Siental sometimes later with the Matrix. Neo communicates with the system, promising the show to enslave humans, the world limitless possibilities before flying away. Trinity was, and he also it talks about how Keanu Reeves had to have surgery, and Johnny Depp, Leonardo DiCaprio, Val Kilmer, and Nicolas Cage were all considered for the role, but Keanu Reeves got it, and Johnny Depp lost the role to Keanu Reeves. And Morpheus was supposed to be played by Samuel Jackson, Val Kilmer, and Gary Oldman, and to play and Neil Gaiman's Sandman comics. That's something else. And she was supposed to be played by Janet Jackson, Rosie Perez, Salma Hayek, and Jada Pinkett Smith were a couple of people that were supposed to play the role. And a lot of it was, filmed in Hong Kong, in different places, and it was a very involved thing, and it was a very cool movie. Yes, you win. There you go. And Karma will be 61 soon. And guess what, everybody? I'm going to be 27 on the 25th. Because there's going to be a birthday stream. And if you're still watching, because you asked me way earlier before this crazy stream happened, yes, I'm going to be 27 on the 25th. Gary Oldman in the Mandela Effect. His name used to be Gary Oldham. Timeline change. Ah, thank you. I didn't know that, Alan. Thank you. You love Val Kilmer in the Doors movie. All right. He played Jim Morrison. Okay. It was also supposed to be played by Will Smith. Was supposed to be playing the role too, but he didn't really get it to be Neo. So he was in the Wild Wild West, and Sarah was saying he would have ruined the movie. He's good in other movies, but he wouldn't be good for that movie. And Liberty's been 29 for a long time. Yeah. And happy birthday month, Alien. Thank you. And in a moment, I'll be getting this ready for the dinner. We have to eat dinner and stuff, so we're going to be ending the thing in a moment. And you have the production design. In the film, the code that composes the Matrix itself is frequently represented as downfall flowing green characters. And they did all these crazy things. For instance, the bullet time effect was created from the film, a scene that would be computer modeled to decide the positioning of the physical cameras. The actor then provided their performance in the chroma key setup while the cameras were fired in rapid succession, in fractions of a second between each shot. And also, the film popularized the visual effects known as the bullet time, the shoot in slow motion. 27 on the 25th. Can I tell peeps on LC about your birthday? Yes, Alan, you could tell people on LC on Law and Crime it's my birthday. Yeah, absolutely, because I'm a star over there. And anytime I go in chat, all the people tell me hello and is glad to see me. Yeah, Will Smith would have slapped the Matrix in the face, and the Matrix would dare to say his wife's name. He would put the Matrix in its place. So he would have made it into like a comedy show. Shout out to Will Smith, man. He's real a character, man. Tony could barely remember being 27. Oh Lord. And after he did the Oscars, disseminated that. Yeah, we're gonna have a birthday party over there. Facts. Yeah. Strand said, "Did y'all see the castle thing Jaden was wearing on her head? Weird." Jaden Castle thing on head. I have to look this up. Come on, alien spaceship, get with the program.
It was the Grammy Awards or something. I don't know. Will Smith's son wore some kind of castle thing on his head. Jaden Smith.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Oh no 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 no. What's that on his head? Oh my goodness, I needed this laugh. We all needed this laugh. What are those? Whoa, what did I do? Whoa. Whoa. Okay, that's what I meant. Look at this man. Scared. Look at this thing on his head. He was freaking laughing until he looked at his wife's face. Look at the castle. Yeah, worse than what Kanye's wife did. Yeah, absolutely. Look at this man. This is something else. He said, let's get up with that. What's worse than Kanye's wife, Liberty, get out of town? The son wore a vampire costume. A vampire castle. I'll have to look this up just to see it. Alright, I looked it up. Oh, look at these people, man. They're really some characters. Holly weirdos. Alright. Okay. Oh my goodness. Scared. Wow, this is something else. I have not seen all of his posts on X. I'm sure they're very interesting. I know, Tony, the Hollywood from your time and the time of everybody else that's here. And also, look at that. Yeah, Alan is the Pavlov's dog. Yes, you are the dog, the puppy of the spaceship. Every time he's so scared, he laughs. He's programmed to, like a good boy. Yes. And Kathy says, "Alien, I didn't mean to be disruptive. I've done so much research into this. It's keeping me up at night." Well, thank you, Kathy. I'm glad you're able to voice your opinion right here. The information is out there. Thanks for being you. Always awesome friend. Yeah, Kathy. See, I'm not like other people. I don't mind. I'm glad that you say these different things. We got to see the truth. We can't just see, like you have a chat. Everybody just thinks the same thing politically. Same thing. But I want to put other people here so we can get another opinion. And I don't care what someone likes or votes for, what their religion is. I don't care what people believe. As politics and religions can divide people, but we take that away. We all believe in aliens or respect the idea of aliens, and we're all here peacefully. So that is, as I said, essential. It's essential. So yeah, exactly, Kathy. Good point. Bodysuit, not that it mattered. Okay, thank you, it's a bodysuit. Okay, not that it mattered. You could see everything. No freaking class. Exactly, right. I read they weren't invited and just got escorted out. Oh, God. Scared. It's been a very interesting chat. Thank you. Thank you. All right. You see, I balanced it out. We talked about things that weren't political and things that were political and things that were religious, things that weren't religious. With religion and politics, as I said, I could be wrong and I'm open up for a different opinion. Scared. He pulled this stuff in Italy and was kicked out of Venice. Canals. Oh yeah, I heard about that.
He's not medicated for his mental illness.
Yeah, he needs to be medicated,
He's bipolar and his other things too.
or he'll get a spaceship spanking. All right, all right, that's them. And we had there's Castle Boy, and they blurred it out. Hmm. Okay. I don't know. I'm about to do something. Okay, viewer discretion is advised. We're about to do this. All right. Viewer discretion is advised. I'm about to do it. We'll see what this was like. All right. Let's see what chat is saying. What?
What are you showing?
No, is this? There's a blurred image of her with the. She has like this new thing for journalism purposes. I was gonna show it.
Oh, okay.
It was her like in the nude outfit.
Right.
All right, here we go. All right, there it is. Isn't that? That's quite. That's quite. Revealing. That's not classy at all. Complete cringe. Yes, Alan, I'm sure you do want one. Yeah, you have your spot reserved in line with the others. Yes. All right, and that one. There you go. And Karma B says, I applaud you for attempting conversation about controversial topics. We need to learn to talk about it, or we will never solve anything. Thank you, Karma B. I'm glad and relieved that chat agrees with me. And I've had so much, people say, like, when I call an ABL, I'm nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm excited. But I will say this. I will say that, what made me nervous, I was always like, I was faithful that y'all would stay together. But when we talked about political topics, because it's like because we have people from everywhere. But y'all did better than any expectations, and I believed and had faith in all of you. And Tony, everybody did great with the religious and political topics. Thank you all so much. It was great that this is like one of the greatest streams yet, besides the snow stream. They did it for publicity, exactly. All right, and the spaceship, the aliens want to eat dinner, so some aliens. I mean, I want to eat dinner too, but there's aliens that want to eat dinner, so I have to be considerate to other people. And I am going to show you all. This is my Mario hoodie. There you go. All right. What? Noise. Yeah. Noise. Scared. All right. So now we're at the end of the show, and I'm about to end it now. So I want to thank all of you for coming here, and we'll see you on next Friday evening.
What about your late night live?
I might do a phone live later, maybe,
Oh,
or something like that, or I might do a late night live of some type. So there might be a late night stream, an after party stream. Thank you, Kathy. Many other people have said I provide a calm environment because some people they'll think they're always right. Some people it's real nervous, but I don't. I'm all chill, and I could be wrong. I if someone has something that I'm proven wrong, that's okay, not a problem. I'm not gonna get all butthurt. Butthurt. All right, and also Karma B says the other hand, letting me talk about them is probably not a good idea. I have behavioral problems. All right, Karma. All right. Okay, you guys. See you over in Creature Feature. Thanks, Alien, in chat. It was fun. Okay, Tony, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'll see you over at Creature Feature. That's a very good channel about movies, old movies. I recommend seeing. All right. Liberty says I don't talk to ETs. That's I know of. Suppose he could be. All right. Okay. So all right. Everybody have a great weekend. See you all next Friday at 7 p.m. in the evening, or on a late night stream tonight or another night. And everybody, peace. All right, hit this ring. All right, the balloons. All right, good. My computer is able to do that.